3, 2, 1. Here we go. What's up? This is Rob.
Hey, what's up? This is Brandon.
And we're here to talk to you about regular shit that people are going through. So, one of the things that I've been going through, one of the things that's been stressing me out is the Roe v. Wade thing, right?
Okay.
Like, I'm super stressed out because, quite frankly, I don't think the government taking a hands-off approach for reproductive rights is the way to go.
No. But I also don't think that the government that had a chance to do something about it and solidify it as far as a right didn't do anything either.
Right. I think we kind of dragged our ass on it, right? Like, we kind of, took our time.
Right.
And then we lost our chance.
Focused on other areas of pandering, in my opinion. Focused on other areas of pandering rather than taking care of issues that were already at the forefront of a lot of people's minds, thinking that they were going to be solidified for a long time. And that's what I think the problem was on the whole thing, my personal opinion on that.
Right. And I think that, 50 years felt like a long time. For a lot of Americans, it's 2 generations, right? Every 20 years is a generation. 50 years, that's 2 generations of legislation that has protected women's rights.
Well, not only protected women's rights, but protected privacy, right? Protected privacy of healthcare. And the thing is, I do enjoy that there are states that are standing up to this thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
New Mexico was
being one of them.
California, New York.
Right.
So we have a lot of states standing up to this. The other process is I feel like don't lose hope. Don't also go into this narrative that you're not a person or that you're less than a person, because I see a lot of that kind of thing happening online. I'm like, nah, man, you ain't less of a person. No. I understand what happened. I understand what the bullying means to you, but don't let it take away from who you are.
Oh yeah, no. I totally agree. You need to be able to keep the shit subjective, but I'll be honest. The second I read the article, right? That Roe v. Wade was overturned, bro. It took me 20 minutes for me to fucking do anything again at work, bro. It's so disheartening because the product of my upbringing, right, is me being a child of a single mother for 7 years, right? It's she always taught me that women are the future, women are the world, right? And so the thing about it is when I hear these things that are so anti-women, that it breaks my heart. It enrages me, it drains me, and I just wish I could do more. But the fact of the matter is I can't do more.
What's crazy is I understand you wanting to do more, right? And the one thing that I don't understand is how much it affected people, and that might be my because of my own ignorance, I guess. But so as you know, I was recently dating somebody. Well, they recently told me that they were going through mental health issues. I understood that, but I didn't understand the extent of it until they told me that they were going through mental health issues because of the ruling on Roe versus Wade. And how they felt about it, they just didn't want to go out, they just didn't feel like a person, everything like that. And I understand, take your time on doing what you need to do for your own self. But
you can understand, but you can't, right?
That's it. I can kind of understand
to a point.
I can kind of understand to a point, because I feel like there's hope in this matter. And that women may not feel like there's hope in this matter, but I do. I feel like there's hope in this matter. I feel like this is actually a perfect time, because we have this overturning, that it's a perfect time to try to solidify what we need to do in this process of it and put it behind us. Hopefully.
I see that. I see it may be a way for us to turn the page, right? And I'll share an experience of mine, just to give some context to this, right? How this Roe v. Wade thing could have affected me in the past if it had happened then, right? If I were in some state like Mississippi, right? Mississippi had a SNAP law, right?
Right.
Where it was just literally immediately, right? I had gotten my ex pregnant, right? and we had been expecting a kid for months, right? Like at least like 2.5, 3 months, right? Like, and we were expecting a kid, and then all of a sudden the next appointment, there was no heart.
Trimester,
right? There was just nothing, right? Like there was no response from the baby, right? Like it just fucking didn't happen, right? And we went in, and the doctor was like, we don't know what's going on. My girlfriend started bleeding heavily, right? Like she just didn't really know what was going on, right? And so we went into another doctor. We had to make an emergency appointment at UNMH, right? Which is the hospital for that kind of stuff, right? The emergency stuff. And we went in, and the nurse told us, she was like, your baby's not alive, right? Basically, like it's not.
It's a miscarriage, but
it's
it
a
hasn't
miscarriage,
happened
right?
yet.
Yeah. And the thing about it is she was like, you have two choices, right? Like she can carry this miscarriage until her body like forces it out of her, right? But there's no guarantee that it's going to do that, and there's a good possibility that it's going to make her sick if it doesn't, right? Like if her body,
because it's a dead entity inside of the woman, absolutely.
Right, but her body still thinks that
it's
she's
live.
pregnant, right? So there's going to be
toxins
months of fucking like this buildup, right? So the choice was hope her body pushes it out naturally, or we go to Planned Parenthood and they do a DNC, which a DNC, if you don't know, is an abortion.
Okay, so
right.
so that's what I was going to ask too, because I didn't know that the DNC is an abortion,
right. And a DNC is an abortion.
I didn't know that in this circumstance, if the baby's already dead, that's considered an abortion.
Still an abortion.
Okay,
yeah.
So my question, I guess, and I'm not trying to take away from the story at all. My question is, for those that think that the abortion is morally wrong because the baby is alive, in this situation, that would not be true, because the fetus is already dead. The fetus has already ceased life, and it's just harboring time inside of the mother's womb.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
Okay.
So the problem with these fanatics, right, is that there could be a miracle, right? The baby could come back. Like, you shouldn't take it out of the mother, right? Because
Understood.
it
Okay.
could technically, in some weird realm of science,
But
make a miraculous come back to be alive.
In the psychological
But
fucking
in a-
defense
in a-
of the mother, how many times has it happened though, right?
Never.
It's never happened.
Exactly.
Okay.
So like this.
So all that we're holding hopes.
Yeah.
It's
your hopes and dreams are good as fucking like prayers and Facebook likes.
but it's a zero chance.
Yeah, there's zero chance, right? So we do the DNC, and like the good thing is I'm in a good enough place with the girl at this point in our relationship that she's like, hey, you should go with me to this, right? And it's fucking like it's nothing I ever experienced before, right? Because it's not like a cut and dry fucking in and out procedure, right? Like they take you in, they put her in a gown, like
it's a process for her to recover, Kevin.
Right, and it's not even a process for her to recover mentally. It's just physically. Like they're not even treating her mentally. Like period. It's just
because I mean we think about it, right? And a lot of people don't understand it this way, that human birth to a woman is one of the most critical moments that they may die. That's human birth has been the major killer of women throughout history.
Super high mortality.
It is a medical procedure that is not to be taken lightly, and it is not to be to be laughed at, because it involves a lot of technicalities, not only for the success of the baby being born, but for the success of the mother living.
The mother living.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so we go in, they put her in a gown, like we get this dissertation, right? Like this whole talk through about, and the fucked up thing is they do it the same way abortion, like necessary or not, right? They still give you the due date of your baby, dude, which is the most fucked up psychological thing you could do to somebody having an abortion, bro. Fucking is
the
like,
potential due date.
Your baby was
Absolutely.
fucking like supposed to be born this date, regardless of
do what you want with that info. Yeah, dude.
Exactly, bro. So fucking it's totally damaging.
Yeah,
so they still told us that, right? Even though our baby was already dead, they still told us our fucking future.
The potential due date of this dead baby.
So we do that.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. I didn't know that they did that, and that is ultimately super fucked up, man.
They have to, though, right? Like, they have to for liability,
understood.
Purposes. Fucking like,
it just sucks that it can't be in a more discreet or cordial or fucking
absolutely.
like.
It
can't
like,
just be hey, it's in this paper.
It's in this
do what you want. Yeah. What you want with this information.
Absolutely.
As long as you sign and acknowledge that you're gonna accept this and possibly read through it at some time.
Dude, and I've been through another abortion, dude, and they literally have to verbally tell you. There's no fucking like around that. They have to verbally tell you.
I had a girlfriend of mine that had an abortion. She didn't want me around. She just came over with the receipt, told me what it was, and I paid it, and like we wanted to separate us. We're still cordial, but like it was a very awkward thing, and like it was a very detached thing. That's this part that kind of hurt me. You, as an emotional person myself,
right? Like you got to separate yourself from the situation.
I did,
right? And even if you didn't want to, you still.
She did it for me, yeah,
right,
and
yeah.
it hurt, and at the same time, I was able to move on quicker. Which I kind of, at retrospect, I think
appreciate it, right?
At the time, I did not appreciate it. At the time, I was like, "Why would she do this to me? Why would she not talk to me about this?" And now I'm like, I wasn't ready. Like, she had her own life to live, and she ended up marrying a great guy. She ended up having babies with him. That's awesome. Which is all what we want, right? We don't want to be trapped down
we hope our
with somebody. Yeah,
so have the best lives ever.
So the thing that hurt me is the fact that I didn't have any type of say. It was all afterthought, and not that I'm saying I'm gonna keep the baby. At that point in my life, I would have definitely not keep the baby. But the fact that I didn't have any say, and the fact that it was all predetermined. Before anyone even told me, asked me anything, that's what kind of hurt.
Right. It's hard to be excluded from that conversation, right? Like it's hard to be thought of as a secondary thought during that whole mix. Like and the thing about it was when I've been involved in at least 1, 2, or 3 of these things, right? Like it's just like, hey, like it's I understand that it's your body and it's your choice. Like I've always told any woman I was sleeping with, it's always your body, your choice, right? Like it's clearly not my choice because I'm not gonna carry this baby for 9 months. I am not going to fucking give birth to this baby, and I'm not going to be held responsibly legally for this baby if I just dip, right?
So you don't think so?
Absolutely not. Dude, my fucking father's a perfect example of that, but we'll talk about that later.
I mean, laws have changed, but yeah, we'll get into that later.
But yeah, dude, fucking like, and the thing about it is fucking any of these girls that I had gotten pregnant, and I've gotten a few pregnant, and thank God I don't have any kids now, but like, I've always given them that reassurance that I'm not the driving force to say, you must have my baby, because if I ever wanted anybody to have fucking my baby, I would absolutely sign a consent form, fucking like not a consent form necessarily, but I would absolutely make sure that this person wanted to conceive my baby. It wouldn't be an accident. There would be no fucking second guessing whether or not I wanted to have this kid.
So I understand that, right? The other portion of this understanding of that I have is I've always had a fantasy of being a father. I want to be a father if I could.
I really hope you do. I really hope you do. You'll be a great father. I can guarantee that.
Time will tell, right? But no, I'm just saying like that's all I've always wanted. I have set it up, but the thing is, like, if a woman decides to disagree with me on that, I've accepted the fact that I have no say in it because it's happened. It's the fact that it's happened that I've gotten a girl pregnant. She's got an abortion. I'm disagreed about it. Moved on with both of our lives, right? For the better, I presume. I've gotten girls pregnant, and fucking they've gotten abortions without me knowing, and they're living their best lives. But the problem is like, I want to be a father. Do I have any say in any of those preceding cases of them providing me children, or no?
No, you're not just dating the child, bro. Fucking
right.
You're only half of the equation.
And I'm not asking this as an actual question like myself.
Right.
I'm asking this as a question as like other men that are in these situations as me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to say that I'm in this situation currently. I'm just trying to say that there are other people in similar situations that are probably wondering the same type of things and want to try to get a better perspective on what they should do or how they should handle themselves.
My recommendation: find a partner that wants the same thing as you. Right? Like, you had the problem of finding a partner that didn't want the same goals as you, and whether or not you got them pregnant and whether or not they wanted to have kids is one thing. But like, if you found a partner that wanted to have kids, that you had sex with and had a kid with you, and whether or not they wanted to terminate that pregnancy or not is still their own decision.
Absolutely, I'm not saying it's not their decision.
But the fact of the matter is you need to choose your partner wisely, right? Like, that's up to you to choose a person
and I
to have sex with.
I agree with that.
That wants to have a kid, because if you want to have a kid and that's your ultimate goal, then you need to find a person that wants to have a kid.
So one reason I asked is, like, I've recently been on dates where we've said we want one thing, and after like 3-4 months, it seems to be something different. Fine, whatever. We all move on. We all change.
Right, or change. Yeah.
But the problem is, within that time frame, we've already had intercourse, unsafe intercourse, right? So if something happens in between then and there, do I have any say of what happens to that legal recourse?
No, absolutely not.
Even can I express my affection of, like, hey, I always wanted to be a father.
You absolutely could, but it's ultimately up to her, because she has to gestate your baby for 9 months. It's not your body. It's not.
I understood that part. Right. The reason I'm asking is because of the confusion that's happened.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Yeah.
So. Although it's ultimately not my choice, I can definitely express my opinion.
Absolutely.
And if she ends up having this baby, I can express more than that. I can be a part of his life. If she doesn't end up having this baby, she has this say abortion, right? There's no reason for me to continue to stick around in her life. Absolutely. She's cut me off, right?
I mean, if she no longer wants to continue her relationship with you, then you're not obligated to continue with her relationship with her. No.
Now, men in this country need to understand and realize that. Is that also another correct thing? Because I feel like a lot of people don't understand what relationships end when they need to continue on with their lives.
I think that's the hardest thing, is like letting go of somebody you loved, right? Like that's one of the hardest things we have to do.
Well, it's grief. It's
obviously grief.
It's obviously grief. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but like
it has to be. Yeah.
Even though we don't lose people physically or in this realm, we still lose people, and we have to grieve over these people. So I think their grieving process just hasn't been explained to them, or hasn't been understood. Or...
Yeah, exactly. Nobody explains this to their kids, because it's a fucking tough subject, bro. It's a terrible subject. Your parents didn't explain to you what grief was. They just took you to funerals. How many funerals did you go to as a kid?
As a kid, I was a pallbearer on many funerals.
Yeah, at least it's half a dozen, like a dozen. Yeah.
Oh, I've put more people on the ground than most serial killers.
Exactly.
It's fucking so yeah.
So the thing about it is your parents never explained
the psychological past of it has never really been truly processed until I was an adult. Until I could talk to somebody about like what our traditions were and how it made me feel. No one really cared, because like it was a tradition. This is what you
had to do
during these times to honor your family. So my takeaway was I was always honoring my family, right? Not knowing that the mental toll on myself was bringing me so down that I just had this irrational thought about death, and like I had also an irrational thought about how life works.
Yeah. And then this like irrational love for your family, right? Like this unconditional love for your family.
Yeah, dude, no matter what
they do. Yeah. Exactly. That's the thing. Like, it's one of the things for what I love about you, one of the things I absolutely hate about you. Because, like, you have this absolutely irrational love for your family, and it does not belong. It does not belong in this world. It does not belong in fucking, like, society. Like,
but you're part of my family, though.
Absolutely. Have I ever wronged you?
No, but if you did.
Right. And that's
I'd take care of you, but I wouldn't let you get away with shit.
That's the thing, is like you still love me no matter what, right? Like because I'm your family. Right? And
you deserve love.
That's the thing you've been like beat into your head is like you have to love your family no matter what. Right? And I
I love you because you're a good person, man.
But I'm not talking about me.
Okay, sorry. Sorry.
Let me talk about some like people you hate in your family, right? Like you talk about your cousin Leroy, right? Like, and your cousin Leroy obviously hates you at this point. Right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously will never forgive you.
Yeah.
At least up until this.
No,
point,
he's
right?
threatening to shoot me. Yeah.
So the thing about it is you still love him. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
There's no question in your heart.
No question.
Right? Regardless of how much of a douchebag or fucking garbage person he is. So, right, like that type of shit gets beat into you as a kid, right? Like that's conditional fucking like that's conditioning. That's fucking like the work of your ancestors fucking beating the shit into you, like regardless of how garbage people
what if
treat
I
you.
just love them on my own volition, bro? What if I want to? I want to love these people. I want to love you, bro. I want to love the people I want to love. Because like, it's not beat into me. It's honestly, dude, I hate, like, maybe other people it is, but like for me it's just who I am, dude. I love people, dude.
I appreciate that.
Maybe for other people it was beating them, but like it wasn't beating to me, and I just love people, dude. I love you. I love my brother. I love my cousin. Like I just love people, dude. I love you people.
I say it, and I hear you say it, but I see the background. Like that's.
Is it weird to believe?
No, it's not. I just think you're just ignoring it, and that's fine.
Brainwashed?
Yeah.
Oh,
Same way the Catholics are brainwashed.
So, I apologize to interrupt you. Continue your argument on how you feel about it, dude. Because I want to hear about it. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off.
So
That was it.
really, it was all brainwashed.
Yeah.
To this.
We really are. The same way all Hispanic people are brainwashed to fucking like. It's the same way like Catholic priests get away with fucking molesting children, right? Because we're all brainwashed to respect authority, and that's how we're brainwashed to treat our family, right? Like anybody that's part of our family is worth respecting because they're part of our family, and we fucking like automatically assume that that's worth respect. It's been beat into us. It's been beat into us since the days we were children. It's been beat into us since our parents were children.
We can diverge,
and we just go along with it because it's reality, right? Like it's just the way we were raised. It was the way our parents were raised. Like you automatically respect your elders, your fucking like family.
I just automatically respect everyone.
Right.
But you're right. That was raised into me. Like military family, you respect everyone. And even EJ's like, it's crazy. I respect everyone, and everyone freaks out about it and fucking loves me about it. I'm like, dude, I respect everyone, and everyone loves me about it too, dude. It's crazy, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's one of those things that, like, we took etiquette classes in Germany, bro. I don't know how much more, like, proper you can get, but if you take etiquette classes in Germany, I'm pretty sure you're pretty proper, right?
Right. And
is that a weird thing that happened to people?
No, I don't think it's a weird thing to happen to people born in Germany, right? Or living in Germany.
Born in
living in Germany, right? Like,
do you think that me taking etiquette classes in Germany is a weird thing for an American to do?
No, because there's a fucking American Air Force base in Germany because we don't allow them to have a military.
What do you think the populace that did that is, though? Because it's a separate class than like normal class.
I think it's the same like it's the same as raising your kid on a military base, right? Like it's the same authoritarian thing you're beating into their brains, right? Like you've gotta respect authority, you've gotta respect the chain of command. There's always this fucking like mindset of fucking following these set of rules that are set upon you regardless, right? Like there's that shit built in the military because that's why they put you through boot camp. That's why they fucking break you down mentally and then rebuild you up so you can follow rules respectively. And that's the thing, is like, if you grew up on a military base, you weren't fucking made to go through boot camp, but you're still fucking put in these programs that are designed to make you follow rules respectively.
Do you think I'm part of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
I've seen it. Yeah, absolutely.
With my past.
With your past, with like the way you treat fucking like the people in authority in your job, absolutely.
Do you think I'm disrespectful to people?
No, never.
Not even people I don't like?
No, never.
So you don't think I'm disrespectful to anyone?
I haven't ever seen you disrespect anyone in front of me in my whole life. In my whole long-legged life, I've never seen you disrespect anybody. I've seen you be rude as fuck to some people, but these are your friends. These are people you've respected for fucking your entire life. I've never seen you disrespect a stranger. Ever.
Really?
Really. In front of me. That's
okay. No.
That'll be my caveat. Is I've never seen you do it in front of me.
I asked just in front of you. I only had, so. I'm just wondering. Huh. I'm not trying to disrespect people. I'm not. That's not a goal.
That's fine. Like I just think it's a product of your upbringing, right? I mean, it's
okay.
It's part of getting that structure beat into you as a kid, and not necessarily beat into you. It's the way I like to think of it, right? It's just something you get taught as a kid.
But as an adult, as a free thinking adult, I enjoy respecting people.
Yeah, I think you were meant to enjoy it, right? Like you were taught to enjoy it.
Well, it's because people treat me with a certain type of respect back.
Right. But even if you didn't, there'd be a 50-50 chance of whether or not they did or they didn't. Right?
Oh no, even if they don't, I enjoy it because like that makes me better than them. I'm treating them better than they're treating me, and that makes me fucking at least more tolerable.
That's what comes with the complex, right? Like,
yeah, but I don't try to come with it. God damn it! You're trying to say that I can't help it. I can help it, right?
Can you?
I can.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
You don't think I've just been rude to people for no reason?
I think I've seen you be rude to people, but in a sarcastic way. I've never think I've ever seen you be rude to anybody in a genuine way.
No. Why would I be rude to people in a genuine way? People have shit going on in their own lives, bro. I care about people. So the weird part about hearing this conversation, right? It feels like I have a double-edged sword. Like I'm built by the military to be a certain way, right? But I'm also like bitched out to like be another way in the society, and I don't feel either. I don't know.
I feel like you were built by this complex to be respectful, and like the respectfulness you learned in turn became in your mind a way to be nice to people, and you think it's nice to be respectful, but that's not always the case, right? Like you can be respectful to somebody and still be rude, right? And I don't think you see that.
In application, that's maybe what I'm thinking about. Like in application, when is that thought process breaking down?
Oh, I mean, like to our servers, right? Like every once in a while, you'll go overboard, right? Like you'll go overboard with the please and thanks yous, right? Where it's just too much, right? Like they don't expect it, they don't need it, but you're going overboard with the please and thanks yous. It's just too much, right? Like you need to know when it's not necessarily expected or when it's not necessarily appreciated, and you do it anyway because it's an automatic response in your brain to say these things. It's an automatic response in your brain to treat people in authority, this person bringing you drinks, this person serving you, to say please and thank you, right? Like this is the thing, right? You don't necessarily need to be super polite every time, right? You could just say thank you. You could just be short, and I don't think you think of it that way, right? Like you think that I always have to be super cordial every time, otherwise this person doesn't think I'm being appreciated.
Yeah.
That's not true. People get tired of it. People get tired of hearing this fucking over and over again, right? And they think it's not genuine, right? Like they think after you say it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, while we're at the bar, you're saying please and thank you. Every single time, it's obviously not genuine. You obviously don't mean it. When you could just say, oh, yeah, thanks. Quick, something easy, simple, but no, you're going out of your way to say please and thank you. You're going out of your way to be overly cordial, and people see that as being disingenuous. And it's just because it's built into you, right? And I think that's part of the problem, right? Like that's part of the complex.
I don't even notice it. I know I do it. Dude, I even try to pull it back and it sucks. Because when I try to pull it back, it just comes out more. Well, pull it back. Stop saying please and thank you to people.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing absolutely wrong with it. But people just think of it as disingenuous when you keep doing it over and over and over again. Well, at least from my perspective.
I don't try to, man. I don't try to be. I've never tried to be disingenuous. But no, it's good. It's good to know. That's why I like these conversations, bro. Yeah. I was in Atlanta being way too cordial with people, so I totally hear you on that.
And that's the thing. Like that's
especially when you're traveling, right?
Like for one, you're gonna think Southern hospitality is definitely a thing, and it is absolutely a thing, right? The further south you get in the United States, people are going to be more nice to your face, right? But they're not going to expect you to be nice back to them. They're not going to expect you to be fucking overly nice to them after they serve you, right? They're just going to expect that upfront niceness.
And I've seen that because it feels like, to me, it's a total switch up. I'm like, they're so nice. Why ain't they bad now? You know what I mean? There was only one time, that was like at a food truck. I ordered food. She was super nice about it. Called my name, went up. She was super nice about it. You know what I mean? That was one time at a food truck. But I feel like, in the most part, cities are just busy. Like you got time to fucking cater anybody's shit or your shit or anybody else's shit. Got shit to go on. You know, check out how this sounds. All right, so we're gonna sign off, bro. Pit. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll tell you about Savannah after this because we're gonna talk about Georgia more.
The
dirty South.
The flooding of the 1927 Mississippi River. Oh. Oh, dude, this.
Super happy if you weren't recording.
We have not been recording for a long time, bro.